Well, my name is Brian Hill, and I'm the president and co-founder of Jail Education Solutions. When I was growing up, my father taught psychology at Folsom Prison in California. And I remember there were times at nights he would bring home the essays of the inmates and he'd read them to us. I remember feeling of their hopes and of their dreams, but recognizing that so many of these would never be realized. Also, it was difficult to comprehend why we had so much human potential locked up. But at that age, I also had no idea of the magnitude of the problem. 12 million Americans cycle through our jails each year. 12 million. That's more, per capita, that's more than any other country in the world, by far. Consider the ripple effect when you think of the 1 in 28 children who currently have a parent that's incarcerated, and are 5 times more likely to go to prison themselves. But set aside those societal costs, and think about the $74 billion a year that we spend on corrections. This is a burden that governments at every level are trying to deal with. Now, $74 billion is a ton of money that we're investing in what are otherwise young, healthy, primarily males that could be tax-paying members of society. So what are we getting as a return on this investment? Well, this is what brings up the most depressing statistic, and that's that more than half will return a short time after being released, a rate we call recidivism. So what are we doing to get such abysmal returns? How are we spending this time with this literally captive audience? Well, we're showing daytime television. Jerry Springer, The Price is Right, General Hospital. This is not a formula for success. We know what works. In fact, the most comprehensive studies that control for things like motivation and background recognize that inmates who engage in educational programming or vocational programming are 43% less likely to return to jail. And that for every dollar that the government invests in this type of programming, it saves the taxpayer about $4 to $5 in the first 3 years. Now, there are innovative sheriffs out there, like our Cook County Sheriff, Sheriff Dart, who have expanded programming and increased opportunities, but they still only reach the minority of the population. And this is because they're operationally difficult. They're very expensive, and it's honestly difficult to spend money politically in this space. And this is where Jail Education Solutions comes in. We rent tablets, secure tablets to inmates at a reasonable cost. These tablets open them up to a host of educational and vocational content that allows them to engage and achieve tangible results that might otherwise be impossible. A GED, college credit, and time off their sentence. And not only can they begin this progress while they're in jail, but they can continue it through our online platform when they return home. We're literally creating a bridge to their community. So, I'm betting that most of you haven't been to jail recently. That's an assumption. An assumption. So I want to walk you through a day in the life of one of our future customers, a gentleman named Ray. This is Ray. Ray hates jail. It's so depressing, boring, and he doesn't want to come back. But he lacks the tools and the encouragement necessary to make the changes that he needs to make. So Ray sleeps in. He wakes up in the afternoon, catches a soap opera, talks to his buddies. He looks and sees that he's still on the wait list for the GED, which means that he will never get into that class before he leaves the jail. Plays some cards, catches a game, and heads to bed. Enter Jail Education Solutions. This is Ray. He wakes up early so he can catch the tablet first thing. He opens it up, checks his dashboard to see the progress that he's made, and sets goals for the coming weeks. Now Ray has an abundance of options. He can watch a TED Talk or listen to he can watch a TED Talk, or he can engage in religious study or guided meditation. He has the ability to take that GED course that he couldn't otherwise take, while his bunkmate who graduated from high school can work on vocational programs or his associate's degree. He has the ability to take a certified anger management class that could award him time off his sentence. These are tangible results that Ray can now achieve. And through this tablet, he can literally earn his life and his dignity back. The beauty is that this goes beyond the feel-good to make financial sense in the business as well. We rent secure tablets for $250 a day. Now, $250 lands that price point about between the cost of a Snickers bar and an Applebee's in jail. Let me make it clear that inmates have and spend money in jail. In Texas alone, $100 million was spent on commissary just last year. In Cook County, the average daily balance of an inmate is about $60. This is discretionary funding that is spent on things like the snacks you see here. Let me also make it clear that while we realize that not everyone's like Ray, Inmates demand educational programming, and jails are not currently meeting that demand. Jails report that any time there's a program that offers tangible benefits, like the ones we talked about, there is never enough program capacity to meet the demand. We can only help meet that demand, but we can expand that demand by incentivizing this programming, this educational programming, by allowing them to earn awards and time towards entertainment options as well. Now, $250 a day is not a ton of money for the inmate, but it does make a difference for our business as we scale. At $250 a day, and if we consider just the current 5 jails that we're working with, if you assume we reach only 10% of that population, well, that's $1.6 million in a year. And that's without selling an additional jail. An additional would be 4,500 correctional facilities, or the 4.4 million probationers and parolees who could also benefit from our product. Unit economics on this one just simply makes sense. If you take a jail that's about 1,000 beds and you outfit it with 120 tablets, and again, assume a utilization rate that gets you to that 10%, well, that generates about $91,000 in revenue. But our all-in hardware acquisition and maintenance costs run us about $42,000, which means that, and these are primarily marginal costs, so you can scale up or down the size of the jail, and you're still looking at about a 6-month payout for a jail. So with what's ahead, we have a team that's in place that's ready to step into a field where no one is playing. But as first to market, with no one in the jail space, we're positioned to grow quickly. Our team is built with myself. I have 4 years of General Mills sales and marketing experience, and I know that we can sell this product into the jails, and it will reach the consumer, the inmates. Prayer Rail is the former chief of staff of the now mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio. She has extensive experience working with this underserved population, and she'll be focused on curating the content to create the most value for our customers. On the tech side, we have Igor and Mike. Mike is all things hardware. I'll be leaning heavily on his expertise in setting up secure wireless networks like he did for Caterpillar in the banking sector. And with Igor, Igor has about 15 years or more of experience as a chief architect. He will be helping us design the platform and ensure that we're creating a user-friendly experience for you. Now, in the next 6 months, this team will be focused on 3 objectives: completing the secure design of our tablet, developing our online portal, and launching in Cook County in April. After that, we'll debut our product at the American Jail Association National Conference and hone in on our key markets of Illinois, California, Texas, and New York. We've been fortunate enough to raise $500,000 in capital from partners and organizations who recognize the impact that we will make. I started by telling you, we want to say we also are looking for a little bit more help as well. We need your help in this effort, and we hope that you'll join us in doing so. Look at this list and see if it's you. And if it is, help us as we strive to help inmates. I started by telling you about my father. That program he taught, that class that he taught in Folsom was cut in the 90s. With current budgets, it will never come back. Jail Education Solutions is exactly what America needs right now. We must unlock human potential behind bars. We need your help. There is 12 million who cycle through each year. We are positioned to make the greatest impact on incarceration since education was introduced nearly 2 decades ago. So join us in unlocking that human potential that is perpetually behind.